breaking down the under pressure card, Cam.
It's hot. I'm always under pressure, like Rodney Dangerfield. I got the sweats. Anyway.
Like Rodney Dangerfield. No respect.
No respect.
Never any
and
respect.
got the sweats. Hot booth.
The under pressure card. The cool thing about this card, Cam, and this happens a lot on HotRoster, is it's not just NFL matchups.
The mix.
From Thursday and from Sunday. It's the mix. We also got some postseason baseball mixed in on this card. So let's break down a few of these matchups, starting with Lamar Miller as a 2-point favorite against the Indianapolis Colts against Jordan Howard, who gets the Packers tomorrow night.
I actually like Miller, and on HotRoster, I look to take points, Gary, and looking at the +2 seems pretty attractive, but I love what Miller did last week. The 2 touchdowns, he looked like that first-round pick. People, when they drafted him early in drafts, that's what they expected. He got the bulk of the carries. He looked like an absolute stud. As for Howard, I'm very concerned about Kadeem Carey biting into his rushes. Yeah. It's a big concern, and we talked about the Bears' backfield. It's a little bit hit and miss right now, so I think Lamar Miller is going to feed off that brilliant performance against, I know it was against the Colts, but -2, I can handle it because I think he's going to be trending upwards for the rest of the season. Miller time for this guy.
Yeah, it was the Miller game. It was if you believe in regression and breaking out of regression, normalization, things like that, everything went right for Lamar Miller, and he's still just going to get the touches.
That's the thing.
It's just every game you can lock him in. There was that Minnesota game, which game script was weird. You can't really run against Minnesota. Like, that's one of the tougher matchups that you can possibly draw.
Similar to Gurley, because when you have a quarterback like that, even though Case Keenum get off, it's a safety valve, right? Yeah. Because, they're not, Osweiler's not that confident, so you gain confidence by giving him the rock, and then it opens things up. So I see Miller as a tremendous upside moving forward, and I think -2, I think he'll win by that margin.
Yeah, I think I'm willing to give him the points in this one, especially because, Green Bay, as bad as they looked against Dallas and against Ezekiel Elliott, that's going to happen when you're facing not only one of the best running backs in the NFL, but one of probably the best run-blocking offensive line by any metric that you want to use.
And you could talk about Denver, too, Gary, and what about them? This vaunted Orange Crush defense, the last couple weeks, San Diego backs, Atlanta backs, 20-plus fantasy points. They've actually, Denver's been, against the backs, they've been a little bit looser.
Somewhat susceptible to the pass, too,
yes,
which is sort of an interesting.
Pass-catching backs.
You'd hope that maybe Miller not the most involved in the passing game, but
He'll get a few,
but not uninvolved. Yeah. So I think that Miller, I'm willing to give him that edge, and I think that Howard, like you said, it's the Kadeem Carey factor. And the thing with Green Bay is, again, they look bad against Dallas, but Dallas is so good at running the ball.
The best offensive line.
I think we put way too much stock into those first 4 weeks of Green Bay has the best run defense since the merger. Okay, sure, they've only allowed 40 rush yards a game, but you have to factor in how many times they were rushed against and things like that. But still a good to above average run defense. So not a great matchup for Jordan Howard. So yeah, I'm with you. Give me the points and Lamar Miller. It's tough to take two, but we'll do that with Lamar Miller.
We're doing it.
Some elite receivers now. Julio Jones gets the Chargers, and AJ Green gets Cleveland.
Both great matchups.
Fantastic matchups, especially with Jason Verrett still out.
Just not really, AJ Green's been one of those guys this year. It just doesn't seem, he's made his AJ Green catches. He's been fantastic. But when you talk about those breakout games, Garen, really? You know what I mean? What are we talking about? He had 88 yards last week, under 90 in 4 of his last 6. That's a concern to me. Whereas Julio Jones against Seattle, you saw him in the second half of that game. Fantastic. He went bonkers. Yeah. He's one of the best. Matt Ryan's been fantastic, leading the league in touchdowns. They have a great chemistry with each other. I love Julio Jones. They're both very, very favorable matchups, but I got to believe Jones is the guy that'll get it done. I'll lay it down again.
I sort of want to take AJ Green just in the sense that I feel like
he's due for a humongous game.
And it's not even just that he's due. I feel like this Bengals offense is due to do something. But that's where I'm coming back so uninspired by just what I've seen from Andy Dalton so far this year. And it's a great matchup against Cleveland. Cleveland so far this season has yet to allow an opposing fantasy quarterback to score less than 18 points. You think Dalton's going to score, which likely means AJ Green is going to score. But Julio
he's also going to Boyd a little bit too,
A little bit. LaFell got the touchdown
LaFell and Boyd.
Week.
That's the thing.
It's a weird situation, and I will say with Julio, where Matt Ryan's going with the ball. It's going to be Julio.
Yep.
And Matt Ryan, too, right now he is leading the NFC in pass attempts in the red zone.
Nice.
And you got to figure most of those are going to Julio Jones.
Yep.
He's completing 72% of those passes. So Atlanta, if they're going to be this super efficient offense in the red zone, that's going to benefit Julio.
I'm so impressed with what Atlanta's done. Just that game in Seattle, turning it around on a dime and a couple drives. And no offense, I'm a Seahawks fan. They got robbed at the end of that game, too. Atlanta's been wicked.
Really expecting that to be the game where I go, okay, we now figured out who Atlanta is. They're
a
tier below Seattle.
Atlanta's real.
They looked real in that contest. Allen Robinson, Jordy Nelson, talking some elite wideouts. Jordy Nelson is a half-point underdog in this contest. Again, that game on Thursday night. Robinson gets Oakland.
Well, you know what? I really, really want to go with Robinson. He's on my fantasy teams. He's killing me, Gary. And, and I'm waiting for that breakout game. And the Raiders, they're going to give you that game. They're absolutely horrible. Like, yeah, I could see. I'm actually concerned about Blake Bortles' completion percentage, though. He's a guy that, this is going to be the game. Is it? And Jordy Nelson, with all the injuries that the Packers have in the backfield, don't you think Rodgers is going to be one of those guys? Who can I rely on? I can rely on Jordy. I can rely on Cobb. You know what I mean? He's going to go.
Aaron Rodgers is a little less Southern than you.
Yeah, but you know what I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But anyway, Cobb and Jordy Nelson look like nice safety valves for a guy that's not thrown for 300 yards in a really long time.
Yeah.
So I might actually have to go Nelson, even though I think
like
Robinson's
you talked yourself into Jordy.
I did. I talked myself. Jordy. Give me Jordy.
And as we said, Jordy is always a touchdown threat. He's going to be a guy who in the red zone, even though he only got one look last week, he's still among the lead leaders in red zone targets.
What do you think about Robinson? Do you think he's gonna break out, right?
If he catches that touchdown last week, which was in his hands and then bounces off his chest and gets picked off and makes Bortles look really bad, we're seeing him in a different light this week. And I think the thing, too, with Jacksonville, maybe, when we see versus Oakland, generally the Oakland part is the most important because Oakland is not good against the pass.
Very bad.
The versus part might be the most important part here. It's not at Oakland, and Jacksonville is a different team at home. Blake Bortles is not good on the road. So before we get out of here, let's talk a little bit about baseball.
I like
because
this.
Javier Baez, again, this is a mixed card, NFL and MLB. Javier Baez, 2.5 fantasy points over under.
Put the brakes on. It looks easy at the 2.5. You're like, hey, a single on HotRoster is going to get you 3. But ladies and gentlemen, breaking down the scoring, Gary will tell you, a strikeout is, minus 3.5?
3.5 points.
That is a lot. And I could see even up, I like what do you think? I'm thinking he's got to strike out at least once or twice in the game. So if he does, that's big trouble. Then you need offensive production. I'm actually going to keep digging under. I'm going under 2.5.
I can see the fear here because he strikes out, I think it was 25% of the time this year. It's a pretty high rate.
But think about it. He gets a double or a triple or whatever. You're sitting pretty.
And that's the thing. He gets Julio Urias in this contest. He crushed left-handed pitching this season. Had a 124 runs created plus against left-handed pitching compared to just 82 against righties. So great player all around, but hit 311 off lefties too. So I think that not only is it a left-handed pitcher, but he hit fifth last night. I'm going to assume he hits fifth again against Urias. Urias might not be long for this game, maybe more than 4 or 5 innings.
I'm with you
if
there.
He
I think
two at-bats. All he needs is 2 at-bats against Urias. I think he goes over this number. So I'm going to take the over. You sticking with the under, Cam?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the under. We got to be a little bit different. A strikeout's going to be the difference.
Well, when we come back, we'll see how different we are in the hockey card tonight. A very interesting card up on HotRoster. Just 6 matchups on this one card because there's only two games.
That's right.
On the ice tonight. So a lot of who would you rather in the sense of guys, maybe even playing on the same line. So Cam and I are going to break that down when we come back on HotRoster today.